The truth always finds a way, but no one expected this bombshell to come from Tasha K's mouth. In a stunning twist that's shaking the very foundation of love and hip-hop, Atlanta. Tasha K has officially stepped into the DNA drama, and what she just revealed has fans gasping for air, according to the queen of controversial receipts herself. The DNA test that allegedly cleared Mendeecees as not being the father of Erica, Mena's baby, was nothing more than a staged production trick hand. VH1 was in on the whole thing. That's right, the envelope, the camera zoom. The tearful reactions, all of it may have been nothing but a performance to protect one of the show's most controversial husbands. And now, Erica Mena's name is being dragged through the mud over a lie she may have never agreed to. With Tasha K releasing DMI's backstage clips and a voice recording that sounds suspiciously like a panicked VH1 producer begging her to stay quiet, the internet is exploding. Did Mendeecees know? Was Yandy involved? And why did Erica stay silent until now? Hold tight, because this scandal is about to detonate. What you thought you knew is about to be shattered. It started with a sigh that wasn't supposed to be caught on camera. Erica Mena had just stepped off set after filming her final confessional for the last season. Her voice raw from hours of retakes, her eyes bloodshot from holding back tears. But the mic was still hot, and someone in post-production noticed it. What she whispered under her breath wasn't meant for the world to hear. But now, that quiet, defeated sentence is at the center of a media storm. She had said, "They told me the test was fake. They made me read a lie." No one knew what she meant at the time. Not until Tasha K dropped her video. Fans woke up to chaos when Tasha's headline went live. It wasn't just another rant. One had timestamps, voice notes, documents, and a fire in her voice that couldn't be ignored. Let's be clear. She began sipping her wine like she had just unzipped the truth that DNA test was staged. They aired the wrong result, and they knew it. Mendeecees knew. VH1 knew. And Erica. Baby, they gaslit her into silence. The clip spread like wildfire. Within hours, every blog, every fan page, every messy Twitter thread was on fire. #defraud was trending again, but this time, Tasha had receipts. In the leaked audio, a voice that sounded eerily like a production assistant could be heard panicking. "They're gonna find out," the voice said. "Tasha has the B-roll. She has the footage with the other envelope." Another voice responded. Mona said, "Damage control. Tell her it was a storyline. Say it was scripted. We can't let this hit the reunion." The damage was already done. Fans were already piecing things together. The moment Erica opened the envelope on the show had felt rushed. Her reaction looked hollow. Now it made sense. She wasn't shocked. She was confused. Maybe even betrayed. Tasha didn't stop there. She went live again later that night and dropped the reel. Bombshell. A screenshot of a conversation between a VH1 producer and a person saved in her phone as MK. The producer asked, "Are we good with the alt ending?" To which MK responded, "Erica thinks it's real. She never saw the second cut. Just tell her we're still reviewing." That text alone set the internet ablaze. Fans demanded to know who MK was. Speculation ran wild. Some said it was Mona Scott Young. Others claimed it was Mendeecees' manager. No one knew for sure. But it added fuel to an already burning fire. Inside the Love and Hip Hop cast group chat, things had already started unraveling. Bambi left the group abruptly. Rashida posted a cryptic message about not being part of fake TV. And Yandy? She went silent, completely. For someone who usually posted affirmations and family photos daily, the silence screamed. People started to wonder if she was hiding something, or if she was finally realizing she had been played too. But the one person who didn't flinch, didn't back down, and didn't try to spin the story was Erica. She posted a single photo on her story, no caption. Just a screenshot of a text message from last year. It read, "We need you to reshoot the result reveal. Take it emotional. Think betrayal." Underneath it was a reply that simply said, "But the test says positive," and that was it. The internet did the rest. Fans matched the timestamp on that text with the date the DNA scene was filmed. It didn't take long to confirm that a reshoot did happen. And if the test really said positive, then that meant everything they aired was a lie. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was nowhere to be found. Not online, not on set, not even in New York, where he was scheduled to do a press junket for a separate project. Rumors started flying that he had checked into a wellness retreat in Arizona. A few unconfirmed reports said he was dealing with the emotional weight of the situation. Others weren't buying it. Fans flooded his Instagram with comments demanding answers. Was he in on the cover-up? Did he really believe the baby wasn't his? Or did he just go along with what VH1 told him? While all this unfolded publicly, behind the scenes, a war was brewing. Erica's lawyer allegedly sent a cease and desist letter to VH1 demanding access to all footage related to the DNA segment. Tasha hinted in her second video that legal action was not only possible but already in motion. "They didn't just lie to Erica," she said. "They lied to millions of viewers. They played with her name, her motherhood, and her child's identity for views. And she wasn't wrong." Ratings for that episode had been the highest all season. The DNA reveal had been promoted like a season finale twist, and now it looked like it was all manufactured. Tasha's single quotes as evidence also included a short clip from what appeared to be a rehearsal take. In the video, Erica is seen holding the envelope, looking off camera. Someone says, "Okay, we'll try this. Again, make it a little more intense." Erica hesitates. Then the camera cuts. But just before it does, she's heard saying, "This isn't right. This doesn't feel right." Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. It wasn't just a fake result, it was a directed performance. One that Erica clearly wasn't comfortable with. The response from fans was overwhelming. Petitions were created demanding VH1 release the unedited footage. Twitter Spaces ran for hours, with fans debating whether Mena was the mastermind or just the messenger. Others speculated about the network's liability. They knowingly aired a false test. Could they be sued? Could the show be canceled? And through it all, Tasha kept posting. More clips, more documents, more audio. She wasn't backing down. And neither was Erica. One unexpected twist came when a former VH1 editor reached out anonymously to a blog and confirmed that two versions of the DNA scene had been cut. One where Mendeecees was confirmed as the father, and one where he wasn't. They tested both with internal focus groups, the editor said. The one where he wasn't the dad performed better, more drama, more emotion. So that's the one they aired. That single comment sparked a new wave of outrage. Fans accused VH1 of choosing shock value over truth, ratings over reality, and sacrificing a woman's truth in the process. As for Erica, she began filming herself again. Not for VH1, but for her own documentary series. In one clip, she sits by a window holding the original DNA test in her hands. "I knew the truth," she says softly. "I just didn't think they'd go this far to erase it." Her voice cracks. "I trusted them. I let them into my life, and they told me being honest would be enough. But it never was." The camera zooms in on the envelope, the test paper. Still inside? Blurred out, but just visible enough to show one thing clearly. The words 98% probability of paternity. The clip of Erica holding the DNA test went viral in less than 10 minutes. Fans paused the footage, zoomed in, enhanced it, and started matching the visible code on the document to standard lab formatting. Reddit threads popped up overnight, filled with self-proclaimed experts breaking down what the paper could possibly say. One user claimed they'd worked in a diagnostic lab and recognized the font and layout, stating confidently that the document looked very real, not a prop. Others chimed in, pointing out the barcode at the bottom, speculating that it could be used to trace the result back to a specific lab in Georgia. The more fans dug, the more confident they became that VH1 hadn't just manipulated the footage. They'd actively buried the real result. What made it worse was the sudden reappearance of Yandy Smith. After days of silence, she reemerged with a 7-second Instagram story, no face, just her voice and a blurred shot of a candle burning. Her words were calm but loaded. "Sometimes protecting people means staying quiet," she whispered. But silence doesn't mean agreement. Within seconds, the internet was ablaze with interpretations. Was she admitting she knew? Was she protecting Mendeecees? Or was she finally siding with Erica after all this time? The ambiguity was brutal, and her comments section exploded with demands for clarity. That same night, Tasha K took to her YouTube channel again and delivered what she called part 3 of the truth. This time, she claimed she had a voicemail left by someone deep within VH1's post-production team. She played it live, unedited. A woman's voice, clearly anxious, could be heard saying, "I can't do this anymore." The test they aired wasn't. The one I logged, we had 2 takes. The first one was the real one, 98%. The second was shot a day later with a fake envelope. I told my supervisor, and they said to let it go. The voice was shaky, tearful, and paused often. "I didn't sign up to destroy a woman's life. It ended. It ended." The chat section during Tasha's live was chaos. Fans were screaming in all caps, demanding VH1 be held accountable. Hashtags started trending again. Hashtag Justice for Erica. Hashtag Free Erica Truth. #VH1 lied. But perhaps the most powerful shift happened when a former castmate of Erica's, Kimbella, went live on her own Instagram and said, point blank, "I believe her. I always believed her. They tried to tell us to stay out of it, but this ain't just TV anymore. This is Erica's real life. Baby deserves the truth." Her voice broke mid-sentence. They made her look crazy. They made her look desperate. And she was right the whole time. Mona Scott-Young, usually quick to post or make statements, was eerily silent. Reports began circulating that VH1 had entered a lockdown phase on all internal footage access. Editors were allegedly being asked to sign new non-disclosure agreements, and production meetings were moved to off-site locations. Insiders whispered to blogs that legal teams were scrambling. If the footage leaked, if the real DNA test aired, if Erica filed a lawsuit, they could be in serious trouble. Not just financially, but publicly. The brand could be stained forever. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' mother reportedly flew into Atlanta, under the radar. Paparazzi caught a blurry photo of her entering a private back door at the studio lot. Some speculated she was there to support her son. Others believed she had her own questions. One blogger claimed she confronted a producer, directly asking, "Why is my family being dragged through this? Who signed off on that edit?" Though unconfirmed, the story went viral. And fans praised her for standing up even if it was late. By now, even casual viewers were invested. This wasn't just about reality TV anymore. It had become a cultural conversation. Podcasts dedicated full episodes to it. Radio shows debated whether networks had a moral obligation to tell the truth when it involved children and families. Lawyers started posting TikToks explaining what kind of legal options Erica might have. The consensus was clear: if she had the original test and could prove the deception, she had a real case for defamation and emotional damages. Back in the studio, tensions were high. The reunion taping had been postponed twice. Cast members were reportedly told to avoid any public statements. But Bambi was overheard telling a stylist, "I'm not walking out there to defend a lie. They better let Erica speak or I'm out." A production assistant leaked that Rashida and Kirk tried to mediate, suggesting the reunion be restructured as an open forum to let everyone share their perspective. But producers were hesitant. They were scared of what might be said. On a live mic, Tasha, never one to slow down, released a new piece of content, a 15-minute documentary-style breakdown of the entire scandal. She walked viewers through the timeline, from the first episode of the season to the alleged reshoot of the DNA scene. She overlaid footage with receipts, added commentary, and closed it with a haunting message. If they can lie about this, what else have they lied about? The video hit 1 million views in under 2 days. What followed next shocked even the most jaded fans. Erica posted a clip from what appeared to be a hidden camera in her dressing room. In the clip, a producer enters holding a manila envelope. He says, "We need to reshoot. It's just for clarity. Don't worry, this one's better for your arc." Erica looks confused. "But this isn't the same test," she says. The man hesitates. It doesn't change the story. It just clarifies the emotion. The clip cuts there. But the message was clear. They were steering the narrative. Mendeecees' name trended again, but not because of a statement from him. Fans began piecing together timelines, realizing that he had posted a no-deleted Instagram story on the day of the alleged second shoot with the caption, "Not everything needs to be on camera." They found screenshots. They found the timestamp. And they began to speculate was that his subtle way of acknowledging the switch. Still, he said nothing. No tweets, no lives, no appearances, just silence, which only fueled the fire. People began to call for him to speak up, to defend Erica or deny the accusations. His silence was being read as guilt. And Erica, she was done waiting. She uploaded a full 30-minute vlog to her YouTube channel detailing her side of the story, complete, with scanned documents, a timeline, and emotional commentary. "I'm not perfect," she said, "but I didn't lie. I didn't fake that test. I didn't agree to anything but the truth. And they took that from me." In the comments, fans wept. Thousands of messages poured in, thanking her for speaking up, apologizing for doubting her, demanding that VH1 issue a public apology. Erica ended the video with a shaky breath and a direct message. "This isn't just for me. This is for every woman who's been told to sit down and stay quiet. Not anymore." The screen faded to black, but the movement she started was just beginning. The momentum behind Erica's story refused to slow down. As the days passed, the narrative only grew louder, sharper, and harder to contain. Fan-run accounts started sharing side-by-side footage of the aired DNA test scene and the leaked behind-the-scenes clips. In the aired version, Erica sits stiffly, eyes scanning the paper before she forces out a sigh. It looked like disbelief, but now it read more like confusion. In the leaked clip, she's visibly uncomfortable, holding a completely different envelope with her lips pressed together so tightly they turned pale. What made it worse was the fact that her stylist off camera, but clearly in the room, could be heard whispering, "That's not the envelope from earlier." The contrast between the two scenes was jarring. The internet did what it does best. It dissected every frame. Makeup differences, lighting inconsistencies, even the label on the envelope had slight changes. One fan posted a slowed-down comparison where the original envelope had a barcode at the bottom, while the televised one didn't. Another fan dug even deeper and pointed out the shadows behind the couch in both shots, suggesting that the aired version had been filmed hours or even days later. The conclusion? The scene had been reshot, just like Tasha K and Erica claimed. By now, fans weren't just reacting, they were mobilizing. Twitter exploded with calls for boycotts. Love and Hip Hop's official page was bombarded with comments every time they posted something unrelated. Even other cast members began distancing themselves from the network. Scrappy posted a vague message about truth over edits and unfollowed the official VH1 account. Carly Red liked one of Erica's emotional posts and then removed all of her own reunion promotional photos. The silence from the network was doing more damage than a public statement ever could. The tension inside the studio was unbearable. Insiders whispered that producers were arguing in the editing bay, trying to figure out how to piece together a reunion episode that didn't look like a complete cover-up. But every attempt at a clean narrative was being sabotaged by new leaks. Someone, or maybe several people inside the studio, had clearly decided to flip. Raw clips kept appearing, voice notes from production meetings, notes scribbled on call, sheets, even a schedule change notice that revealed the original DNA scene had been scrapped and replaced 2 days later. Then came the voicemail that turned the entire situation upside down. It was sent anonymously to a gossip blog and posted within hours. In the message, a voice that fans quickly identified as a longtime crew member could be heard saying they paid a lab to create a duplicate report. It wasn't a real lab. It was a prop design agency out of New Jersey. The original test came from a legitimate clinic, but the second one, what aired, was manufactured to look legit. Only 3 people knew the truth: Mena, the showrunner, and legal. The voicemail shook everyone. People had joked about the envelope being fake, but no one expected confirmation that it had been designed that way. Erica, now fully in control of her own platform, didn't flinch. She responded in her next video with a single phrase: "I have the real lab name, and soon so will you." She didn't say anything else. No tears, no elaboration. Just a quiet fury in her eyes that said she wasn't done yet. Within minutes, fans began searching local Atlanta DNA clinics, trying to find which one had done the original test. Someone claimed to have matched the document formatting to a clinic in Midtown. Calls flooded the clinic, but they refused to comment, citing patient confidentiality. Still, the pressure was growing, okay? And everyone knew it was only a matter of time before something gave. Then, out of nowhere, Mendeecees resurfaced. He posted a blurry black and white video to his Instagram story, just a close-up of his face, in the dark eyes bloodshot and voice low. "I never asked for any of this," he began. "I was told the results were legit. I didn't read anything. I trusted what I was given, and I regret that." The video ended after 15 seconds, but the damage was done. Fans were divided. Some saw it as a confession. Others saw it as damage control. Either way, it was the first time he broke his silence, and the internet jumped on every word. Yandy followed with her own post-an image of a shattered mirror with a caption: "Truth cuts both ways." It was vague, moody, and cryptic, but fans had had enough of riddles. They wanted answers. Hashtags calling for Yandy to speak directly began trending. Speculation ran wild that she had known about the fake result, but chose to stay silent to protect her family. Still, she said nothing more. At the same time, a popular gossip site released a screenshot of what appeared to be an internal VH1 memo titled "Contingency Planning DNA Narrative Collapse." The memo outlined steps to take if the truth about the envelope swap went public, including pre-written statements, press angles focused on miscommunication, and a backup reunion edit that completely avoided the DNA topic. Fans were outraged. This wasn't just a bad decision, it looked like a premeditated plan. The show's credibility was hanging by a thread. Advertisers reportedly started pulling their mid-season sponsorships. And one longtime partner posted a now-deleted tweet, stating they were reevaluating future involvement with reality programming that misrepresents real lives. Erica had become more than a cast member, she had become a symbol of truth being manipulated for ratings. And people weren't letting it go, with pressure mounting. Erica's legal team announced that they were preparing to file a formal complaint against the network. The suit would accuse VH1 of defamation, emotional distress, and intentionally misrepresenting a paternity test to harm Erica's reputation. The announcement shook the entertainment world. No one had ever challenged a network this publicly and with this much evidence. But Erica wasn't done yet. She organized a private screening event in Atlanta, thing inviting select bloggers, journalists, and even former cast members to view unreleased footage from her time on the show. Tasha K, of course, was their front row. According to attendees, the screening ended with a never-before-seen clip of Erica confronting a producer in her trailer. She's visibly shaken, holding the two envelopes side by side. "They're not even the same weight," she says in disbelief. "You lied to me. You played with my child's life." The room reportedly fell silent. One blogger later wrote, "I've covered scandals, I've seen messy edits, but this was different." This was a woman being used as a prop, and now she's taking back her power. The video spread like wildfire the next day. Fans called it Erica's redemption. Petitions demanding VH1 issue a public apology reached over 200,000 signatures in just 3 days. Reunion trailers were being downvoted on YouTube, and comment sections were filled with one phrase repeated over and over: "We believe Erica." The moment had shifted. The power had shifted. And the truth, no matter how long it had been buried, is finally starting to rise to the surface. The studio lights flickered above the reunion stage like they always did. But this time, the glow felt different, heavier, more suspicious. Like even the electricity knew this wasn't going to be just another reunion. There was no laughter backstage, no small talk over lashes or outfit zippers, no playful side-eyes or last-minute jokes. Everyone was quiet, watching each other with cautious glances, unsure who might flip next. The air was thick with tension, not just because of what was about to be filmed, but because everyone now knew that nothing about the last season had been as real as it seemed. Mona Scott-Young stood behind the curtain, eyes locked on her clipboard, fingers tapping against the edge like she was counting every beat of her own nervous heart. Producers whispered behind her, trying to coordinate entrances, but no one really knew what Erica Mena was going to say. She had refused to hand in her talking points. She had refused to pre-screen her remarks. She had shown up with no glam team, no entourage, just herself and a thick manila folder clutched in her hand. And that folder was the same one she held in that leaked clip, the one with the real DNA test inside. The reunion opened with an awkward montage, trying desperately to steer the narrative toward lighter drama. But the crowd was cold. Even the live audience, usually rowdy and full of shade, was stiff. They weren't here for funny arguments or petty fights. They were here for the truth. And when Erica finally stepped on stage, the energy shifted so fast it was like a gust of wind hit the room. She was dressed simply, her hair pulled back, makeup minimal. She looked like a woman who had cried more in the past month than she had in a year-end, who had nothing left to lose. She didn't wait for her cue. She walked right up to the front of the stage, folder in hand, and faced the audience. "Before we start," she said quietly, "I need to say something. I'm not asking permission." Mona shifted in her seat, visibly tense. The crew exchanged panicked looks, but no one stopped her, because they couldn't. Not anymore. "A lot of y'all saw that episode and thought I was crazy," Erica began, voice trembling. "You thought I was making it up, being dramatic, trying to force a storyline. But the truth is, they forced me into one. They made me doubt myself. They made me question my reality. And worst of all, they made me look like I didn't know my own child's father." She opened the folder and held up the paper. "This is the original test from the first shoot. Before they told me we had to reshoot for clarity, it says 98%. Not 0, not inconclusive. 98. Gasps in the room were audible. Even cast members who had been skeptical before looked stunned. Kirk Frost leaned forward in his chair, blinking rapidly. Rashida covered her mouth. Bambi's phone, which she had been quietly scrolling through during earlier segments, slipped out of her hand and hit the floor with a loud clatter. No one moved to pick it up. Erica continued. "I was told it was just for drama, that it didn't really matter. That perception is more powerful than truth. Those were the exact words from my producer." She paused, blinking back tears. "But it did matter. It's because that perception made the world look at me like a liar. It's like a desperate woman clinging to a man who didn't want her. And it destroyed pieces of me that I'm still trying to rebuild. Mendeecees shifted uncomfortably in his chair, his face unreadable. He hadn't spoken a word yet. Not backstage, not during taping, not even to Yandy, who sat beside him with her arms folded so tightly across her chest she looked like she was holding herself. Together with sheer force. Finally, Mena stood up, stepping into the frame like a teacher caught in a lie by the entire class. "Erica," she said carefully, "I think we need to know." Erica cut her off. "You don't get to redirect this one. Not after what you let happen." Her voice was still calm, but it had a sharpness now, a raw edge that couldn't be softened. "You sat in that control room and watched them hand me a fake envelope. You watched me break down and said, 'Good take.' And when I asked for the real footage, you told me it was corrupted. You lied." Ona's mouth opened and closed like she wanted to say something, but nothing came out. The silence was louder than any excuse she could have offered. And then, from the far side of the stage, Tasha K's voice rang out. She wasn't even supposed to be there, but she had been given a seat after fans demanded her presence. "Run the tape," she said loudly. "Run the real footage, lest it's still too corrupted for air." Gasps echoed again. Cameras turned to catch every reaction. Someone from the control booth radioed in. The producers were scrambling, unsure if they should pull the plug or let it ride. And then Yandy stood up. All eyes turned to her. She walked slowly to the center of the stage and took the microphone from the stand. "I've been quiet because I didn't know what to say," she admitted. "But Erica's not lying. I saw the original test. Mendeecees and I both did. And we were told it would never air because it didn't fit the arc. I was ashamed, but I let them convince me to stay silent." "I'm sorry." The room exploded. Cast members gasped. The audience shouted, and for a brief moment, even the cameras seemed to shake. The truth was no longer just speculation. It had been confirmed on record by the people who lived it. Mendeecees finally spoke, his voice hoarse. "I didn't want to be part of this storyline," he said, "but I went along with it. I didn't think it would go this far. I thought it was just TV. But Erica, I'm sorry, I really am. I failed you. I failed you." Erica looked at him, tears streaming down her face. She didn't respond. She didn't need to. Outside the studio, fans watching the live taping on social media began chanting, "Release the footage. Release the truth." Someone set up a projector on the sidewalk and played Erica's vlog on a loop. Within minutes, news outlets began reporting on what was now being called the biggest reality TV scandal of the decade. Inside, the reunion went off script. The teleprompters were ignored, cue cards were thrown away. And for the first time in the show's history, the cameras just kept rolling. Because now, the story wasn't being produced. It was being lived. You've just witnessed the truth unfold piece by piece in front of millions, after months of silence, manipulation, and heartbreak. From the moment Tasha K stepped into the fire with her bombshell revelations, to Erica Mena's raw confessions and undeniable receipts, this scandal has rewritten what we thought we knew about love and hip-hop. Mendeecees' DNA test wasn't just faked, it was weaponized. A woman's truth was buried for the sake of a storyline. And now that truth is clawing its way to the surface with receipts, rage, and redemption. We saw Yandy break her silence. We saw Mena unable to defend what had been orchestrated. It's good, most importantly, we saw Erica take her power back in front of the entire world. But the question still hangs in the air like a, wait, no one wants to? Will VH1 ever publicly admit what they did? Will the network issue a real apology? Will Erica finally get justice? Or will this all be quietly swept under the rug once the reunion fades from trending topics? This is your moment to speak up. If you believe Erica deserves answers, if you're tired of fake edits and twisted narratives being passed off as reality, then smash that like button right now. If you stand for truth, no matter how messy, subscribe to this channel because we'll keep exposing every buried secret they never wanted you to see. And tell us in the comments, do you think Mendeecees was a victim of production too? Or was he protecting himself at Erica's expense? Should Tasha K keep leaking what the network won't show? Or is this a story that deserves its own documentary? Share this video with your people, your group chats, your cousins, your Facebook aunties, because the truth is no longer just Erica's, it's all of ours. And we're not letting this one go. Not this time. It's not ever.